and happy Wisdom Wednesday. Thank you so much for tuning in and for choosing to spend some of your time with me. I'm Maria Milagros, and this is our little space and time and the interweb, if you will, where I like to share life coaching tips, tools, stories, and nuggets to hopefully help you get to next levels of healthy and happy. During the month of February, we're talking about relationships. The first week, we talked about what to pay attention to and to be on the lookout for to make sure that our relationships that we are choosing to participate in are actually reciprocating love and support, and that we are also being loving and supporting. The second week, we talked about communication. If you didn't see that, I'm going to post those 2 videos at the end of this video. And while you're there at the end, if you like what you heard, give it a thumbs up. If you know someone who can benefit from it, go ahead and share the video. And if you haven't already, subscribe to my channel. So this week, I'm going to give you 2 reminders and 1 suggestion, again, to help you, hopefully, in the implementation, build healthier relationships. I also want you to keep in mind that just because you hear something doesn't mean it is necessarily for you. And it also doesn't mean you have to take the suggestion or the advice. I don't take it personal. I just put it out there in hopes that it can help other people get to next levels of healthy and happy because it helped me. And when my clients actively participate and are intentional about using these tools in their lives, it helps them as well. So I just like to share it in hopes that it might help you too. So here we go. The first thing is to remember that relationships are a 2-way street. And when a lot of times people say that, they think about this like compromise, this give and take, this tug of war, right? This like pulling back and forth. That's not what I'm thinking about at all when I talk about a 2-way street. So let me explain it a little bit. When I'm talking about a 2-way street, I'm talking about what I mentioned earlier. Is this relationship supportive and loving both ways? Right? Am I giving love and support into this person, and am I receiving love and support in return? Or am I receiving judgment and criticism and, having to carry the emotional weight for this relationship? I have to be real and pay attention to what is my role in this relationship, and is it equal? Right? If it's not, I get to decide, do I want to stay on this 2-way street? Right? Any relationship that is only going one way isn't healthy. That's it. If you're the one always giving, it's not healthy. And if you're the one always taking, it's not healthy. Now, it might be beneficial to one of the people or some of the people in the relationship, but it doesn't make it healthy. So just something to keep in mind. And a lot of times we develop those kind of one-way relationships because of something that happened in our past. And it's a way that we survive, right? I'm taking. I'm just going to take what's mine. I'm going to live and I'm going to survive. Or I'm going to give and give and give and give in hopes that I can appease them and I'll be a people pleaser and hopefully they'll like me and they'll make me feel validated and loved, which at the end, it's only temporary because the only person who can truly connect you to your validity and to your love is you. That's another video that we've talked about in the past. But keeping in mind this, if I create an expectation for this relationship, am I also meeting that standard? Right? That's what I'm talking about when I talk about 2-way. If I'm asking that person to be more loving in how they speak to me, am I also being more loving in how I speak? If I'm asking my child to be thorough and to follow through, do I also follow through? Right? And like things to just start thinking about, am I actually creating a 2-way flow here, or am I asking for it to be one way, both from them and from me? Right? So that's one. The second thing that I want to just kind of remind you is that there are 8 billion people on the planet. We cannot expect the one primary person in our life to be all the people that we need. We are multi-passionate, multifaceted, multi-interested people. And there is not one other person on the planet who likes all the things you like and doesn't like all the things you don't like. So we have to stop asking our one child or our one partner or our one friend to do all the things we want to do. It is then our responsibility to develop more relationships. I know, it's crazy, but that's really what you have to do. If you really love playing Scrabble and nobody else around you does, there are literally Scrabble clubs and groups you can join, and you can hang out with those friends and have that like-minded group to enjoy that. Here's what happens when we diversify our lives in this way. We take away the need to convince someone else. We take away the need to constantly be checking in on them to make sure that they're also enjoying themselves, which then makes us feel like we're babysitting or handling them. We take away all the things that are stopping us from fully immersing ourselves in our experience. When you think about I don't know why Scrabble came to mind, right? But if you go to a Scrabble place and everybody's playing Scrabble and you'd be like, oh my gosh, these are my people. You don't have to explain anything. You don't have to convince anybody. You don't have to appease anyone. You just get to fully immerse yourself and enjoy. And anytime we do that for ourselves in a healthy way, we make ourselves healthier and more whole, which then we bring that more healthy, whole self to other relationships in our lives. Everybody benefits. So that one person can't be all your people. For example, I once dated this guy and he loved going camping. It's not my jam. I'm not going. So I gave him this kind of like conversation that I'm giving you right now. And he's like, oh my gosh. Okay. So he went, he had a great time. He came back. He told me about it. He was so excited. His life was enhanced and enriched, right? If I had gone, which I would have not, I would have been moaning and complaining the whole time. Nobody needs that. That's just extra. Now, I also love Marvel movies. So I called him up and I said, listen, we're doing this thing at midnight. We're going to go see this Marvel movie. This was back when we could go to the movie theater. And he's like, yeah, that's not my jam. I'm not doing that. Great. You have a good night's sleep. I'm going to go with my people. And then we talked about it. He said, how was it? I told him how much fun it was. I'm more enhanced. I'm happier. I'm not expecting him to be the person that I always need to be with to do my things, right? We let each other off of the hook. It's just a healthier way to maintain healthy relationships because we ourselves are allowing ourselves to indulge in the things that we really enjoy doing, that bring us peace, that bring us fun, that bring us joy. And then we bring that peace, fun, and joy into our other relationships. It's like glitter everywhere. And then the last thing is more of a suggestion than a reminder. And I suggest, this works for me, it might not work for you. It's just a suggestion, whether you take it or not. I'm not taking it personal, so keep that in mind. I suggest that we as humans have a disclaimer or an agreement or a contract about really important things right from the beginning. Let me explain. When I meet friends, I tell them very, like I already decide this person's going to be my friend, right? I do. And then, not in a crazy stalky way, but I'm like, I can feel our energy. You know, we connect on a lot of things. We're going to be friends. I have to decide, am I willing to fully invest my time and my energy, my two most valuable assets into this exchange? And then what I do at the very beginning is I give them this kind of like cell phone disclaimer. I don't live with my phone near me. When I'm with my daughter, I'm with my daughter. When I'm hanging with my family, I'm hanging with my family. If you call me and you need to talk, sometimes I might not be available and I'm just not available. And then when I am, I will call you back and I will give you my time. When I'm present with you, I'm going to be present. When we set up a date, I'm going to show up, right? That's who I am. My expectation is not that when I text you, you have to text me right back or like, what's wrong with her? No, we grown. We got busy lives. We got a lot going on. I'm cool if you're cool. Plus, we hold each other accountable and we challenge each other to those next levels of healthy and happy, right? And so we create like a standard and then we meet it together. We call each other out, or rather we call each other in. We have hard conversations. This is how I do. You down? Right? Because really, I just don't have the room in my life to have to convince someone why we should have conversations. To have to say to someone, are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Are you mad at me? Like, I just don't have room, right? Honestly. So I have this disclaimer. The other thing that I'm going to use, again, as an example for a disclaimer is I went on a date once, and on the first date, I asked the guy, because the way he was talking, I said, do you want to get married and have children? And he says, yes, absolutely. I want like 4 or 5 kids. You know, I can't wait for it to have my own children, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's magical. You totally deserve that. Check, please. And he was shocked, but we had this wonderful conversation where I kind of explained to him, why would we continue to pursue a relationship where we both really want completely different things? And this is a big deal. I'm not having any more children, and you want a tribe of children. You should definitely go find someone who wants what you want, right? So afterward, he and I stayed friends, and he went on a couple of dates, and he would say on the first date, listen, I'm not trying to say tomorrow or next month or even next year, but do you want to have children? And the woman would go, I'm not really sure, you know, blah, blah, blah. And he would see, but this one woman that he went on a date with, she said, yes, I want to have kids. I want to get married, like blah, blah, blah. So they continued dating and kind of working it out. And that was like 2 years ago. They just had a baby girl and they're engaged. And he admits to me, I would not have been able to find her had I not done the disclaimer and just like, nope, okay, you're not the one for me. Moving on. Nope, you're not the one. Moving on. And it's not rejection. It's redirection, right? I'm not rejecting you. I'm just redirecting your energy to another, because we don't want the same things, period. We don't want the same things, right? And so that's a really important thing for me when it comes to relationships, is this kind of disclaimer, agreement, or maybe even a contract. Why not? There's no right or wrong. If it helps build a strong foundation, that's what matters, right? So that's all I have for you. I hope that this was beneficial. Like I said before, if you know someone who can benefit from it, please share it. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel, give it a thumbs up, and check out the videos that I'm going to post here from the last 2 weeks to help you, again, build healthier and happier relationships. That's all I got. I hope to see you next week. I love you, and there's nothing you can do about it. Peace!